Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, I thought today we should talk about some cruises that were canceled, when they might restart again, and we'll also talk about a really big story in a way, an emergency airlift at night in bad weather. Wow, I am always impressed with the search and rescue teams that head out to the ocean to rescue people because they are amazing. So yes, let's talk about that emergency airlift. It very rarely do the airlifts happen in the evening unless it's very, very calm weather or it's an emergency. Something's going wrong with the ship, right? And people are going down. Well, the Anthem of the Seas was off the coast of South Carolina, and a woman was suffering from internal bleeding. Not sure the story of how it happened or why it was happening, but they decided they better, airlift it because as much as they can do on cruise ships, there's only so much they can do, especially for something as serious as internal bleeding. So they called in the Coast Guard Emergency Service and they flew 230 miles off the coast and airlifted this lady up at night in fairly windy weather besides that, which is not easy to be steady on a helicopter in the middle of the ocean over a cruise ship and airlift somebody in a bucket up. It's not the easiest job, but hats off to them. They successfully did it and flown the woman back to shore where she could receive the treatment that she needs. We do not know her update right now. All we do know is that she is successfully back at a hospital. And hats off to the rescue crews who flew all the way out there because that is definitely not an easy job. You know what else isn't a very easy job? Trying to figure out when certain places are going to open up for cruise ships, like Australia and recently Hawaii. And we had the Carnival Miracle was supposed to set sail in just over a week and arrive in Hilo on December 3rd, and that cruise had to get canceled. We also had some other cruises all lined up to get going, and those had to be canceled. Now, it is not because Carnival can't get the ship ready and get over there in time. It's basically because Hawaii has given a bunch of protocols to the cruise lines to do. And the cruise lines have agreed with every single protocol, and they were going to do every single thing. They're prepared to do it. What's not prepared to do it is Hawaii's not prepared to make sure that the cruise lines and the tourists are following and doing what they want to do, mostly in their digital online platform. So, for instance, when I return to Canada, I have a form online I have to fill out called ArriveCan, and I'm entering information, what vaccine do I have? When was it given to me? When was my last test? That sort of thing. And they're going to have that set up in Hawaii for travelers as well. And now because of the changes that just happened with the vaccine type approvals and the mixed vaccine approvals and all that thing that's going on and kids under 5 now, they haven't updated their protocols on the online website as fast as the cruise lines and other people were hoping that they would. So all cruises have been canceled in Hawaii until at least January. But they don't say when in January. Now, the very first cruise ship is the Grand Princess on January 9th. And then we have the Orion is supposed to set sail on the 11th. And then Pride of America, I believe, set sail, let me see, I have it written down, there you go, the 25th of January. Those are still in place. They haven't been canceled yet, but with the CDC protocols ending on the 15th, we're wondering if they will not start cruising until those protocols from the CDC are gone, which puts in jeopardy at least the very first 2 cruises, from the first cruise from the Grand and the first cruise from the Orion. we'll have to wait and see if they can get their system up and running to where they're happy for it. As you know, Hawaii has been one of those states with the strictest protocols in the United States as far as travelers and tourists into the country. Now, I have a couple more stories, some better news stories. That just remind you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Maybe hit the notification bell so you're just notified when I put up a new video to keep you informed on all things cruising, the restarts, the cancellation, cruise vlogs, ship inspections, and all things that just might interest you if you're a fan of cruising. I'd really appreciate it. So I thought I'd finish off this news story with two good news stories about some ships that have finally started sailing. One, no real big surprise, but the Norwegian Joy has arrived in Miami and she is starting sailings out of Miami. That marks the 9th Norwegian Cruise Line ship to restart. A lot of people were waiting for the Joy. With the Encore already starting, they're pretty happy. The Joy, unfortunately, that was one of my cruises that was canceled earlier in the year. However, it's good news. The Joy's back, sailing out of Miami, and something that hasn't happened in 10 years. That's right, not the pandemic, not 18 months, 10 years. Royal Caribbean has returned to the West Coast for Los Angeles. For the first time in 10 years, they have now sent the newly revamped $110 million renovation cruise ship, Navigator of the Seas. She will be making her sailings from Los Angeles very shortly. That is some good news. Imagine a cruise line has gone from a pretty major port. LA's not some small little dinky town. And that's the first time in 10 years that they're sending a cruise ship there. I didn't realize it was that long. I really didn't. And so a lot of good choices there. As you know, Navigator is a fairly large ship. It's not an Oasis class, but hey, you got the flow riders, you got a bunch of entertainment, some good food, and what more can you ask for? That marks the return of another large cruise ship on the West Coast that can sail up to Cabo and do California cruise coastlines, etc. So a lot of people have been very excited that that ship was coming back, especially travel agents in that area, because a lot of people were hoping to get on Royal Caribbean ships and just go for a quick sailing where it's not flying across the country to get on a Royal ship. You can now get one right close to home, drive to the port, and away you go. Hop on, hop off. Those are some of the best cruises, and that's why I'm a little jealous of Tony. Because Tony lives so close to cruise ports now that everything's within like a 5-hour drive for him, or a bus ride, or a 10-minute flight. So unfortunately for me, the closest one for me is about a 10-hour drive to New York City, but the most cruises sail out of Florida, and that's a 2-day drive for me. So yeah, I am a little jealous that I have to fly everywhere I go, and those people now have a nice cruise ship right close by if you're a Royal Caribbean fan. Not that there's not other, like the Carnival Panorama is there. There's other, the Majestic Princess is there. There's beautiful ships there. So great for Los Angeles, and I hope a lot of people take the time and jump on some of those ships to help support those crew members who are finally back to work. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world. Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.